some time ago, I made a video with another smaller YouTuber who now has a good following. His name is What the What. And unfortunately, he made a really weird video. And so now I'm here to bring you that. Now, he's someone that I would consider a good friend, and he's someone that I'm not necessarily angry at. He's just someone that I think has nothing else to value. He has no friends other than his internet friends, which is fine, I suppose, in some kind of sense, but he kind of just doesn't care about other people. And whenever he gets into a squabble of any kind or a disagreement, he then uses his friends as a shield. And that's a weird reason to, throw them in there, but, it is what it is, I suppose. But today, we get to look at a privated video of his, one that he decided that it wasn't really worth his time, as he puts it, one that he made in less than a day, and may or may not have a nipple in it, but I guess we'll find out to see if it's actually in there. So let's enjoy this fine piece of art that he's created for us.
This show sucks. The jokes aren't funny, the premise is honestly done better in hentai and the schmacks, and the girls are not hot at all. And I didn't even watch this officially. I don't want to fucking watch 20 minutes of mid-animation and a black screen that says Unga Bunga porn not found here. I watched this shit on Pornhub, bro. I could have been jacking off to something else with better writing and animation on there too. But I ended up having to watch this dumb bullshit. Fuck you. There, that's my thoughts on it. Goodbye.
So we talked about this on my newest stream, the one that we're going to kind of officially call the Scarlet Symphony. And there'll be a link in the description to that channel where we have those 2 episodes posted already. But for the most part, we're going to go through this video as if we'd never seen it before. And unfortunately for you, I've seen it a million times because everybody sent it to me. And I really don't want to have to go over this again. So this will be my definitive take on it. Something that I think we all knew was going to happen at some point. And whether you're friend or foe, if you make a very stupid video on the internet, if I'm not there, there'll be somewhere else that'll call you out for it. But let's just go ahead and knock out the fact that my man said that he was going to masturbate to things on Pornhub instead of being a fine person of like maybe some other website like RedTube or YouPorn or XIII.
Okay, so in all seriousness, community, we need to have a talk.
Why is this the community's fault? Why do we have to sit down the community on the couch and say, hey buddy, we saw that you did a fucky wucky. What's all this about?
This entire thing revolving around Ishizoku reviewers and Funimation, several other dubbing and licensing companies in Tokyo MX dropping it from their lineups, and a certain million sub AniTuber raising its mouse score to flex on them as if it's gonna do anything except raise its mouse score and get all of the children to laugh is incredibly stupid in every aspect I can think of.
Let me just go out here for the record and just say that I don't watch anything that's Nuxtaku related because I don't watch AniTubers. There's not a reason to, and I stopped watching them after I made my whole video about why do we need AniTubers too. But because you have drugged me out here and people keep sending me this same video asking for my thoughts about it, I figured I'd go ahead and make a video. But Nuxtaku did exactly what he said he was going to do and made it for the lols. It was a meme, and now you've read below the fucking surface level of what this meme is, and it's really not that deep. I promise you, it's not. It's just, he made a funny. That's it.
Now before you stop watching here because you cannot comprehend that my reasoning for disliking the show has nothing to do with me being offended, a prude, or salty because of the epic flexing ability of anime battle block sans, please pay attention.
You know what? Let's go ahead and do this, What the What. You can call this the Slugfest. And a lot of people have been waiting for this, and I honestly can't wait either.
Grab your fruit snacks and chicken tendies and listen for longer than a minute, and let's go for a ride.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, those 2 things together sound not so delicious, but let's just get this over with.
It has been almost a year since my video entitled Shield Hero is Not Misogynist was published. The premise of which was that the anime community is extremely stupid and illogical, especially when it comes to more high grounding and overreacting over series that nobody is going to care about or talk about within 3 months of the thing airing.
I wonder what kind of shows you watch, because apparently if we just, move on to another show, apparently we forget about the ones that we just saw, or the ones from prior. That's why most people will still say that Death Note's one of their favorite series. That was a seasonal show at one point, but people still talk about it. So that kind of invalidates your own point. Wheelchair symbol. Sorry, I can't say the other word.
And guess what? Have you seen anyone in the major anime sphere talk about Shield Hero?
Yeah, we have. Anime News Network just ran another thing about Shield Hero, and some of your other constituents, they've still been talking about Shield Hero. So just because you may not personally see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And you can say Anime Sphere as though there's only like a few people, but there's people still talking about how they love Shield Hero. So what the hell does this point even mean?
Have you seen Shield Hero and its misogyny be the topic of discussion recently? No, you fucking haven't, because everyone moved on to the next outrage.
You know, it literally only took me just a couple of seconds to find this tweet where someone was talking about Giguk and Shield Hero. Now, you spend enough time on Twitter that this really shouldn't be hard for you, but people do still talk about Shield Hero and its misogyny. I mean, and not that it's misogynist, but they do bring it up as a topic. So, what point are you trying to make? That people just forget about something?
Now people are accusing Horikoshi of being a terrible person because it happens every Tuesday, because he had the gall to make a terrible person in his manga be named after a terrible thing. The audacity of this terrible man. I hope he gets pegged by Frogmeat.
Well, at least we know where what's priorities lie. At least he'll look at My Hero Academia hentai, or Rule 34 at least. So at least we know he's not a prude in that regard. But let's keep on trucking.
Seasonal anime watching is something I enjoy. I like it a lot because there's some stuff coming out recently that I've absolutely fallen in love with. Beastars, Quintessential Quintuplets, Kaguya-sama, Wataten, Koisuru Asteroid, Keep Your Hands Off Azoken, so on and so on.
So by your definition, that would make you a seasonal anime watcher. So you think that you're also dumb because you watch seasonal anime. In fact, how do you watch any anime if everything that comes out is in a season? You're then a seasonal watcher because you're watching it now.
Being current in the discussion is also really fun because you get to see people's reactions to what you love in real time. It's why I look forward to recording the Weeaboo Club weekly seasonal discussion. By the way, subscribe to the Weeb Club.
Don't worry, this is going to be one plug of many, and you're going to see these throughout the video. And every time you see one, I want you to take a shot of Jaeger. None of that bitch shit.
Look. Let me talk. Okay, I'm gonna spoil Ishizoku reviewers for all of you. It's so deep and themes. And here we go. Are you ready? There's an angel femboy. He has penis and ball sack, and he comes in, looks like girl, and then they have the sex with an elf, and they go, ew, elf 500 years old. That's old, and the human go, but she hot though. And then they have the sex,
I respect it.
and then they make a Mal review for it. And then the next episode, oh look, we drink potion, we become girl. I have sex with slime lady. I have sex with midget. I have sex with the hyena girl with a penis. And I have vagina. And that's it. That's the whole goddamn show. And I'm like, I wasted my time doing this.
Eloquently put, but let me go ahead and just throw a wrench in there for you. What the what? The show is meant to be that way. Aren't you the same person that when Has Been Hotel was out and people started calling it offensive, you said that was the point? Everything that you said about Has Been Hotel can apply to this. Oh wait, that's right, you removed that video because it's private now, but maybe you'll bring it back up for us to see at some point, so that way we can, look at it and see that reference there. But that's the point of the show, is that there's two guys and they meet the angel that has a penis and a vagina, and then they go and they try to fucking literally almost anything that moves. That's the point of the show. It's a fucking comedy. That's why no one should take it seriously. That's why it is a comedy. What the hell's wrong with you? And let's point something else out here too. You talk about how all of this stuff is supposed to be super immature, and you make it that way when you're making these voices to talk about it, but you talk as though you're someone that hasn't actually let me put it to you in the best way I can. Someone that hasn't fucked anything or been fucked by anyone. That's what that sounds like. But that's getting off topic. It's not really needed in this conversation. It's just my own personal 2 cents. But carry on.
But despite the positives that come from experiencing media in real time, seasonal anime watching continues to be a very heated topic amongst us in the community. Namely that the act is cancerous and people who only watch seasonal anime are small-brained Neanderthals with the attention span of a coked-up goldfish. The biggest reason being that seasonal anime discussion, while being fun in small doses, becomes a vehicle for random outrage that everyone treats like a big deal until they find the next thing to cry and piss and moan about. It's frustrating and mind-numbing because then we get shit like Shield Hero's misogynist.
But wouldn't being a seasonal watcher in this particular case be good, since everyone's analyzing the thing that they care about? I mean, if we just let everything just slip under the radar, then obviously we just don't care about the quality or anything that's in the show that may represent a certain theme. But because seasonal watchers are out here, they can actually see the things that they want to, and then if they think that something is, we'll just say out of place, then they can detect it. Now, you watch seasonal shows because each season you watch something, and then if you don't like it, then you make videos like this talking about how interspecies reviewers just isn't good, despite you saying that you didn't watch it, but then you did, but, you know, it only makes sense if you don't think about it.
Lily is trans, and now, which is possibly the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, the situation with Ishizoku reviewers. I strongly recommend that before all of you assume that this is just corporations being prudes, or that this is part of Funimation's SJW agenda, you actually use your computer for something other than hentai and look up the facts for yourselves.
Okay, first of all, I do whatever I want to on my computer, and I look up big anime titties on it, so no, I'm not going to use it for actual research, but if I had to, it's not that hard to do, and apparently it might just be this monumental task for you, but you know, like, Google does exist. You can just go on Google and type in whatever you want to find. But let's hear these wonderful facts that you have to give to us, and we'll see if we can try to, you know, come to an understanding of what exactly you're saying. Because, you know, people still bring up stuff about Astolfo being trans, but maybe you don't see that come across your timeline because it's usually filled with all of your best friends in the AniTube community making great videos.
As detailed in the Cartoon Cypher's video regarding the topic, this issue is far more nuanced than SJW agenda and incompetence.
The market is, especially if you're Funimation right now, is dictated entirely by streaming. Because everything's for streaming and the licensing landscape is so competitive, they have to license these shows sight unseen. They're not done when they're buying them, so they don't know what they're getting.
If they only got to see episode 1 before the dubbing started, then that would make some sense, since unlike some of the following episodes, its content still seemed to be within the realm of what Funimation would air, like High School DxD.
Your Honor, I want us to go ahead and play the rest of these clips because you only took out this certain part of what he said in this video, the Cartoon Cypher, I mean. And the Cartoon Cypher, I don't really watch his content either, but just for the sake of this fucking video, I decided to go watch the entire thing. And you didn't really bring up a point of anything that helps validate this entire thing that you're going on about. But don't worry, NECRO XIII's got it for you, and we're going to find out the reason why it may have been that way. But we're not going to do it right now, though. We're gonna hold off for just a little bit. But since we're here, let's go ahead and address a little something that you did bring up, and how animation studios, or dubbing studios in this particular case, like Funimation, they have to license everything sight unseen. That says more about why it's incompetence. No one hates Funimation for just any old reason. We hate them because they are very lacking in the intelligence department. They're incompetent because they went out of their way to buy a show that they knew nothing about. And sure, let's just go ahead because you're going to bring this up in the video anyways. They would never have known the contents of it. And sure, that highlights more of a problem with licensing shows. So why can't we ridicule them for doing a piss poor job at that, but then also say that there's an inherent problem with these licensing companies getting them and then dubbing them over when they have to buy something that may not be something that they can stream. And like I said, we'll get into the other stuff here in a bit, but that would be the solution, is to fix that one first. Fix how they license shows.
I'm leaving the rest of the video for you to watch because I actually want to give attention to my fellow creators. Subscribe to the Cartoon Cypher, by the way. They easily put out some of the best and most well-researched and informed content out there. But essentially, this whole situation is just fucked. Because of the way the dubbing system is, there's a lot of things that contributed to this frankly, comically stupid mistake. The manga's material is very clearly not as sexual as the anime is, and Passion was obviously put in a situation where they could either turn the anime into talking heads and floating text, or, as they clearly chose to do, decided to have everyone do a little diddling.
By the way, grown adults don't use the word diddling. They generally use it if there's, actual sex predators out there, trying to prey upon young children. But I'm not gonna. That's a whole different territory. But also, I know that you keep using this and you want to give a shout out to all these great content creators. But where's your argument? What the what? Like, we get to see mine, and I'm gonna pull a you here soon, but we get to see my argument, and it's not that it's too far out of the realm of possibility. More people can come up with these ideas on their own. But when you're starting to pull everything from a video that you saw and it didn't validate your point at least once, then sure. I mean, it probably did validate it at least once, so I'll at least give you that much. But you used it in the wrong context and you took it out of context.
The only thing this show does not show is a penis entering a vagina.
Do you know what other Funimation show doesn't have a penis entering a vagina but is almost on the same level? It's called Valkyrie Drive Mermaid. And in that show, at least in episode 4, and this is the best example I can bring up, there's actually a part where she's in the woods and she's being mind controlled and she is being forced to have sex with these like rock monster men, and it's implied what exactly happens. And if I want to go a step further, there's Bikini Warriors where the dog is licking the girl's vagina. I mean, these are things that Funimation licenses, so what are their standards exactly?
Which is the only thing separating it from a hentai. What about Yuri? Fuck you! Go watch Koisudo Asteroid, I heard the girls kiss. Go watch Senton Academy, I heard she eats poop or something. Y'all are into that, right?
But let's be real here. Passione also made Citrus, and Citrus isn't an ecchi show, it's just a kind of like a little romantic something with girls in it. They just love each other. So it's okay that people can go watch any type of Yuri, and Funimation can license that, but they can't do Ishizoku reviewers?
Now, what the what, you might say? Shouldn't have Funimation checked the product before they licensed it? Well, I will be citing the Cartoon Cypher once again.
Oh my god, no, stop doing that shit. See, you're taking other people's arguments, you're citing other people's arguments, and that's not what makes a good video. When people come to my video, they come to see me be, they come to see me be a wheelchair symbol, but that's because I make my own arguments. You're not making your own. You're taking them from someone that's far more intelligent than you in this particular case.
The way Funimation works is that licensing and the actual production side of things are two departments, and they will acquire shows way before they come out. So unless you are telling me that Funimation has time travel powers, I do not understand how you could possibly expect me to check this show beforehand other than by checking the manga, which, again, has significantly less ecchi material than the anime adaptation. Again, please watch his video to educate yourselves.
I remember a time when AniTwitter said that AniTube was going to lose its mind when this show came out, and they were proven right. Because that's all you guys have done is bitch and moan about how 2D characters are fucking on screen. And they're not even really fucking on the screen. It's all implied. It's after the fact. Or it's just not shown at all. Even in that particular case, they're not having penetrable sex. But you are correct about one thing. The manga, the source material that it came from, doesn't have nearly as much suggestive themes, if you will, for the anime. So they kind of did ramp it up a little bit. But that's the only part that you're going to get credit for in this, is that they didn't know, but that's why they are incompetent. And that's why we should change the system in which we have to license shows to come over to the West.
Now, if you know anything about this situation, you know that Nux Taku is the center of it.
Here comes the Nux Taku bashing part of it.
Obviously, he's the one who's been milking this whole thing for 3 whole videos, but he's played this whole thing off as a meme.
That's because it is a meme. All the videos, when you look at them, they're clickbait, but they're memes.
I would believe it, because while the meme is stupid and unfunny, I can at least see what he's actually trying to do. My anime list is a broken shit stain of a site, and the rating system is as helpful as a sandpaper condom when trying to determine what a good show is or not.
Great, so why does this video exist if you know that my anime list is terrible?
I mean, Code Geass is number 36 across the whole site, what are you, stupid? But while hiding behind the shield of just a prank, bro, Nux has gone out of his way to paint Funimation as the bad guy in this whole situation.
What, are you going to do this thing where you're going to try to defend corporation in some regard? If they make an oopsie, they should be called out for making an oopsie. Stop standing up for them when all they want is your money. And that's fine, they can want all the money they want in the entire world, but they have to give you a product.
Now before I go forward, I guess I should probably say this. This video is mostly satire. Don't actually get upset at Nuxtaku. Don't write him death threats or whatever, none of that. He just demonized the whole corporation for a meme because he's a dumb fuck who can't do research. That's literally all that happened, okay? Everybody has the right to be a dumb fuck, okay?
Says the guy being a dumb fuck, but you know, I'm not going to throw around insults like that. I want you to make an actual argument.
So full disclosure, I'm not upset at him, he just has no brain.
Outside of this video, you did say that the reason you made this video was to catch Nuxtaku's, his attention, so that way he could, do something for a better cause. You even put the tweet near the end of this video. So you want him to do something, but you're calling him someone that doesn't make any sense and that he's a dumb fuck. So why should he do anything for you? And also, why can't you do it if you're so sure?
Now, I have here a message from my buddy Vindy, who is a big fan of Nux's dumbfuck crusade against this whole thing.
And here's another plug. So, I hope you got your shots ready.
This punk bitch motherfucker Nuxtaku. Oh my god. I'm actually, fucking baffled at this whole situation. Because, look, here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, it's Funimation can do whatever the fuck they want, right? If they want to drop the fucking show because they think it doesn't meet their standards. By the way, Nuxtaku, you fucking idiot. I don't know if you know this, but standards doesn't just mean moral standards. There are multiple kinds of standards. I have standards for quality. So I can't watch your terrible videos. So when they say it doesn't meet their standards, maybe, just maybe, they mean it's a little too raunchy for them to want to have on their site and to spend the time dubbing it and the money when they don't want to be associated with something as raunchy as Ishizoku reviewers.
But, Vindy, that's a moral stance that you just said. You said we don't know what their stances are, but maybe it's a moral stance or maybe it's not a moral stance, but then you just said that it was a moral stance because they don't want to be associated with something. That's having a moral stance. Because you don't want to be associated with the negative connotation of, having a show that is a borderline hentai, that's a moral standard. You're contradicting yourself. And that was, I don't know how long that clip was. I think it was 30 seconds, but it didn't even take that long. Is this why you do chapter reviews? Is because you only know how to read, but then you can't, enunciate any of those words that actually mean something?
So your whole point in your most recent video about, the fucking standards, Imosai has, the whole thing starts with a joke about, the guy's writing about his little sister, but it's a guy with his little sister, so that means that they, no matter what, Funimation morally agrees with that. Or Zerlane, it means Funimation says you should fuck boats. No, you're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about. It's very fucking clear. Alright, that's the first thing. We're we're gonna flex on Funimation and flex on everyone by giving the show a 10 on Mal. No. All you're doing is fucking up the Mal scores even more than they already are.
But you guys just said that Mal is a joke of a website and that it's broken. So if you know that and you don't take it seriously, then why are you taking it seriously? I think I've already asked this and I might have answered it. Maybe they answered it. Maybe I just forgot. But you're saying this, but you haven't given any reason why you should use their website. Okay, so the ratings are different and people can go on there and ruin them. Is that your go-to? So whenever you want to see a show, you have to go to the ratings of what other people tell you instead of watching it yourself? I mean, AniTubers get paid. Like Mother's Basement, they get paid to watch those shows, and then they get paid to talk about them. You guys are just like me, a fucking person on the internet talking shit because that's all we can do. Stop trying to take this high ground of, oh, well, you should look at this rating site because it's broken, but also don't.
Right, Mal's already a joke of a website. It's already fucked up. So you're just showing that oh yeah, Mal's a joke. Okay, if you wanted to flex on Mal, perfect play. Genius. If your video was Mal sucks and we're gonna prove that Mal sucks by giving Ishizoku reviewers a 10 and getting it to the top, great. I'd actually say, you know what? I understand your play. I understand what you're going for. Keep it up, dog. But that's not what you're fucking doing.
Oh, I didn't know he became Nuxtaku in the last couple of minutes, but maybe he can explain what he actually did. Because everybody with an actual functioning brain, as you're going to bring up, everyone knows that it was a meme. Apparently except for you, Vindy, and what, and anybody that's in your ilk, your small bubble. You guys look too deep into a meme, and you think it's a fucking pool, but it's only down to your, it's up to your ankles. That's it. It's really not that deep, I promise.
So first of all, it doesn't even make sense. The idea that we're gonna give it a 10, and then it's like, the gnome shit from fucking South Park. It's step 1, give Ishizoku reviewers a 10 on Mal. Step 2, question mark, because you're not smart enough to think of a step 2. Step 3, flex on Funimation. Where's the correlation between the two other than that it's the same anime?
Maybe because I'm on the outside looking in, I can give a little bit of a lead into this. The reason that he did this is a form of protest. Funimation dropped Ishizoku reviewers. And so the best way he decided to, make fun of this whole thing is instead of review bombing and making the show worse, because that's what Funimation obviously thought it was just a bad show, he said, instead we're going to raise up the score and show everyone that this show's not as bad as they think it is. And also, because Funimation dropped it, they're going to lose a bunch of money. And I can tell you, they're going to lose a couple of dollars. Not going to be like in bankruptcy like DSP, but they are going to be hurting a little bit, just a tiny bit. And that's a form of protest. So when he did this for the meme, which you can't understand that it was, it's a form of protest to show everyone that this show is actually kind of cool if you just take a 2-second look at it. And instead, you and your friends, your best friends over there, think that it's just bad because it doesn't have Japanese schoolgirls dancing around on stage, I suppose. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, that's kind of just from my look. But maybe I should have just, I don't know, maybe I should have just cited the cartoon cipher like what the what did. Damn it.
The full rant is on his channel. Go subscribe. Look, I get that this is a meme. Obviously, it's a meme because, again, Mal is a joke of a site. We all know it's a joke, but I'm not the only one who has told you that this is not a good idea.
So what I have to ask, who else thinks that this is a bad idea? Who really cares who thinks it's a bad idea?
Take Mr. Caribou Coon's words that you brushed off.
So I just want you to remember that Caribou Coon is someone that you tried to out because you didn't get a high enough rating on this video, and he made assumptions about you and you didn't like it. So instead you bullied him on Twitter so that way he would have to change his stance, because AniTubers got an AniTube, right? You guys are in the same community and you love each other when you meet each other in person, but on the internet it's a blood sport.
So Nux is accusing Funimation of stealing his videos, except he's not. I guess his fans saw that and were like, hey, what the fuck, Funimation? And I guess he had to go so far as having a DM with them and talking about it. And that's obviously why he doesn't actually pursue it. Also, it's so stupid to think that only an anime is a thing that Nux came up with.
Hey, do you guys remember when this video was about Ishizuka reviewers, or am I the only one that just thought that that's what the title of the video was? But maybe I'm wrong. We'll keep going.
It's the same fucking lot. His fans think that he came up with the Bakugo is dead meme. He didn't come up with that. He found out about it and then ran it into the ground, and then fans think that was his thing and his meme. How much more of this is he gonna take from?
There are some fans that believe that PewDiePie comes up with memes and sometimes he finds them on the internet too. I mean, if we're all for Nuxtaku and AniTuber bashing, I mean, sure, go for it, but it's not just solely his responsibility that some people say that he came up with it.
How much fan art is he going to go uncredited if you...
Akidearest tried to do the same thing where she took someone's fan art of Hatsune Miku, and so she tried to edit it for a screenshot for a thumbnail for her video, and someone called her out for it, and she said that it was fair use. Oh wait, we're talking about Nuxtaku. Oh yeah, rally against Nuxtaku. Got it.
I don't like it, and you're clearly using the demonization of Funimation for bait, and it's very interesting, but it's certainly feeding fuel to that fire. I think we should be not warming up to these companies or sucking their dick or anything, but
much like anything that you have to say, AniTubers will walk back anything with a but in there. So you don't want us to suck up to any companies or corporations. But what? Caribou-kun? I forgot that this was actually a What the What video for a second. Oh, shit.
Kicking them in this whole fucking thing, it's just not healthy and not helpful, and you're one of the biggest people on the platform. If you're making enemies of Funimation, it's going to look bad on the rest of us.
You guys use that a lot, that if you do X, it'll look bad on the rest of us. No, it doesn't. It only looks bad on you, the person. And who cares what a corporation thinks? Their main goal is to sell you a product, and if they don't make a good enough product, they don't get money and they don't live. Who cares? You should always be pro-consumer before pro-corporation. The big bad corporations, sure, that's the argument I'm going with. But it doesn't look bad on me if someone else that makes videos with me says something. That's not me out there making the video. That's someone else. So stop trying to use that guilt by association bullshit because you know it doesn't stand. And especially of all people, you, Caribou-kun, I don't even really know you all that well. And since you did my video on your This Week in AniTube, because that's a pinnacle of reporting, yeah, like, no one cares. That's your video. I'm not gonna blame you if What the What's being a special boy. That's not on the rest of you. That's on him.
You catch my drift?
Like, I get you don't care because you have like a million subs of fucking 12-year-olds, so it doesn't matter to you because there's always more 12-year-olds you can get to watch your content. But for other people who will actually want to give AniTube a good name and do something, you know, help people see anime with their content or help people, you know, be able to explain why they like their favorite shows or whatever, you're just giving AniTube a bad name, right? Like,
again, this doesn't affect you. So if Nux Taku makes a video every time that he's wrong about something, that doesn't make you look bad. Like, sure, there's people out there that will use it as a blanket statement. Me, myself, and I probably do, because AniTubers are just generally not so good. But I don't discount the small boy channels. If anything, it's the smaller creators that are putting more love and care into their videos with actual research. And it's you guys that get a little bit of a following, this little drop of clout. And you think that you know everything because you're the first people to crack open a Wikipedia page. But again, that doesn't really pertain to this. I'm sorry I'm going off on a rant so often, but it doesn't make you look bad if Nux Taku is doing something. The same way if What the What does something bad, it doesn't make you look bad, Vindy. Stop trying to suck ass or something. I don't know what you're trying to do here. It's a weird semantics game.
there are already so many people in the anime community that think that AniTube is a joke, right? You have people like Giguk saying that Love Live killed Mecha. Anything that Mother's Basement has said in his entire time on YouTube. And now anyone who goes to Mao looks and sees Ishizoku reviewers at like number 4, right? And it's like, oh my god, why is this show so high? Because, like, you know, people when they're fucking new and getting into anime will go to Mao and go to the top anime and start watching that shit.
So what happened before the year 2006, Vindy? So did people still use my anime list? Oh, that's right, they didn't, because it didn't exist. But let's just say for the instance that it stopped existing, what did people do before then? They would go to forums, and they would talk with people about different shows, or they would find out word of mouth from their friends. So their friends would tell them, oh, this is a really good show, you should probably check it out. Or they would watch shows like on Toonami, especially in my case, growing up. I would watch shows on TV, and then I would go and find more shows and wherever they aired. And this was before the wonderful invention known as My Anime List that you guys don't take seriously, but then also take seriously as this great pinnacle of, well, the new people are going to use it. What happened before that?
Right? I know I did. I know a bunch of other people who did, because you want to see what, like, the best stuff is, or the most liked stuff is. So you see this, and people will ask, you know, why is Ishizoku Reviewers rated so high? It's like, oh, some fucking dumb fuck AniTuber who has like 3 brain cells decided to, you know, get everyone to rate it at 10. They're like, oh, okay, so AniTube's just a fucking joke.
Well, yeah, AniTube is a joke. That's why there's normal people like me and the other people, or as What the What calls it, NECRO fans, that laugh at you guys because you don't make good arguments, and that you're spurging out over Japanese cartoons. It's really not that serious. Maybe when you guys get actual problems, then it'll be a little bit different for you. But, you know, you guys gotta, you know, tone it down with the being a weeb thing, because that's what's more embarrassing. That's not what other people are doing. It's what you're doing.
You know, you're hiding behind a satire show. Oh, it's just a joke. It's just satire. No, motherfucker, it's not. It's not satire when it's the 4th rated show on Mao. Like, that's not how it works. And, you know, people like to defend it by being like, oh, well, Ishizoku Reviewers is actually pretty funny. It's actually, no, that's not the point. The point of the matter isn't whether or not Ishizoku Reviewers is good. That doesn't matter. What matters is that people see that it's...
By the way, you're going to notice, like, this weird cut. I did not make this cut. That's how he, edited this rant, I suppose. But even then, who goes there and says, oh, that's funny, and then when people ask or they look at the reviews, you could tell what's a troll review. If you go to Slam Dunk and Hose by our man Top Dog over on Amazon, you'll see that there are troll comments that claim that they bought this album, and it sounds awful. But it's funny for the memes. That's kind of the same situation, but I can't expect you guys to pick up on social cues, so it's fine.
And yeah, okay. Wow, next, you showed that you have a bunch of 12-year-olds who will do anything you say because they're too young to have actual functional thought. Good for you, dog. I can't believe it. You know, you're so fucking cool. But, like, fuck off. Like, you didn't do anything. All you did was just make yourself look like an idiot to anyone with an actual brain, like, that's developed and has been through puberty. So, you know, not your fan base. Fuck. Subscribe to Vindy, fucking follow Vindy on Twitch, fuck Nux Taku.
Do you remember when this used to be a video about Ishizoku reviewers? Yeah, because I think we've kind of lost the plot, but let me also remind you that this This is because they want Nuxtaku to donate to a charity. This is what their ultimate plan is. This is their step one. We make a video bashing Nuxtaku. There's no in between because there's no step two. And then step three is get them to donate to charity. So what the hell is the point of bashing Nuxtaku if you don't take the website MyAnimeList seriously? But then you're taking it seriously, saying that it can be used by new people to find out what shows are good in any given genre. And then you say, well, it's not good and it exposes the flaws because of what Nuxtaku did. Well, yeah, so why are you taking it seriously? Why is there literally a 19-minute video by What the What, including other people's videos, talking about this? Like, we're not even to the worst part of the video. Sorry, spoiler alert. There's actually a worse part to this video.
You know, considering this is a joke, you're so bad at it that you're not even participating. Oh, look at that. Wow, wow, wow.
Do you know that not everyone, updates all the stuff that they go on there to rate? And again, it was a meme. So you didn't have to do it. He kind of just, said it. Whatever.
But aside from the whole stain on the reputation of AniTube, aside from cementing Mal as a joke of a website, there is this idea that Ishizoku reviewers being taken down by Funimation is morally wrong. Something that you even agree with, it seems. Now, let me get something into your heads. The world is not run by Funimation. Tokyo MX and several other services have taken Ishizoku reviewers down after finding out what Passion did to change the source material.
That's unconfirmed. And I would like to see proof of this claim, because I looked everywhere and I couldn't see that this was the case. And if anything, you know that they have to pay for those time slots, right? Like the companies, like the production companies, they have to pay for that. And also Tokyo MX is a public station that is in Tokyo. So there's other stations like ATX that are still showing it. And certain places like Funimation probably can't get their version of Ishizoku reviewers from Tokyo MX because they removed it from the time slot and replaced it. Ishizoku reviewers is still being shown on ATX and it's fully unaffected. So they still have all the nude scenes in there. But Tokyo MX and BS11 don't. And so Funimation, instead of getting something that was uncensored that they would actually have to do work on, like getting it from Tokyo MX, decided that they would just drop it. And I'll at least give Funimation the little benefit of the doubt here, that sure, they didn't know what they were getting, but they were getting it from somewhere else, and then they moved it because of the time slot problems that they had, and it also got removed from Amazon for the same reason that they got their same cut that was censored from the Tokyo MX version, while other stations like ATX are still showing it in, and I don't want to say uncensored, but they're showing it with less censorship. So you are kind of lying.
Funimation is not the sole bad guy. You might as well be doing this to fucking own the entire anime industry, because this is clearly not the fault of just one company. You're free to live in this magical world where Funimation is the only one at fault. But unlike you, I live in reality.
Reality, you say? Now I'm kind of curious where this conversation's going, because I want to see what's in the reality of What the What. The same person who bullied someone to take down their video by the name of Hopeless Peaches, and then made a fake Twitter account called Despairing Pears, and then made a bunch of straw man tweets, and then used it in a video. Is that the reality that you live in? Oh wait, that's just me being facetious and causing drama, I forgot. Maybe next time, guys. I'm sorry, I'll get back on track.
And I know you know that fact. You are just misleading your audience of 1 million subscribers to believe otherwise, whether intentionally, which it totally is, or unintentionally. There also appears to be a strange misplacement of standards. Sure, this isn't actually a movement as you say, it's just a meme. You're flexing on apparently no one because Funimation doesn't care, and Mal is doing nothing but benefiting from this by fixing its systems.
So if Funimation doesn't care, then how does it make you guys look bad? So if let's just go ahead and put this in a timeline. He flexes on Funimation, right? The thing that you guys call a flex, whatever you want to call it. And apparently it gives you, the AniTubers, a bad name or something like that. And now all of a sudden Funimation doesn't care because they don't have the show anymore. So the flex doesn't affect anyone. But it does because it shows that Mal is a joke of a website, but you already knew that. But now you're defending that it's a joke of a website by saying that it's not, but it is? What?
But I can't help but wonder if, since you have so much power and the ability to flex, as it was, why do you not feel the need to do so for a better cause?
Guys, didn't you know that all that sweet ad revenue from YouTube, why use that for, actually paying bills when there are starving kids in Africa?
This applies to everybody going along with this stupid meme, not just you, Nux, because everybody involved in this, including the other AniTubers who are giggling and guffawing at this stupid bullshit, are just as well at fault.
So why are they also at fault? Because they know that it's a meme, or is it because he's in the 1 million, subscriber club? I haven't quite figured that out. And as much as you want to accuse me for, stealing other people's content to, make videos, I mean, you kind of did that in this video, but that's a whole different topic. But even then, why are they at fault? Because they laughed at it, or is it because they thought it was funny and they didn't take it seriously? I'm still not able to process it. Tell me why.
You all chose Ishizoku Reviewers, a show that is not that good, not that funny, and that you 100% will stop caring about in a couple months.
So I see we don't have any reasons, and then we just skip to being completely subjective about what people find funny and cute or whatever. So what's your real beef here? What's the meat of this conversation that you're trying to have with the community? What the what?
Why not do this funny meme to flex on someone who deserves it? As most people would hopefully know, the mangaka for Chihaya Furu recently said that she supported the Hong Kong protesters. This obviously did not make the Chinese very happy. So in response, there were a bunch of Chinese fake accounts on Mao to mass lower the score of Chihaya Furu Season 3. This doesn't actually affect the manga, mind you, but it will cause people who are uninformed to think that the third season was bad solely for the score. Huh. What does that sound like?
It sounds like Mao is still a joke of a website, and if you thought that it was a joke of a website, why did you care? And also, being down to a 7.0, who cares? It's still a good score. Or does everything have to be like 9s and 10s for you to take them seriously? Like, that's why AniTubers are frowned upon, because they don't make any sense. It's still a good... It doesn't matter. You know what? Let's just get into the next part, because you're going to love this one.
That sounds very similar to a situation going on right now. Now, once again, do not harass anyone. This was merely a lesson in the art of the flex. This video is satire. It's satire, everybody! Who's to say whether or not I am implying seriously that everyone involved in this stupid meme unironically believes that the Hong Kong protest did not matter in comparison to an anime all of you were watching illegally anyway.
Oh no. Don't... I've already seen this part, but I know what you're gonna say. And for the people that haven't watched it, or at least heard it, you're about to witness something that is probably even worse than anything anybody has said to me probably before.
But seriously, satirically speaking, if you had the power to do something like change the mouse score and wanted to do something that was mostly harmless yet take your anger out, why would you choose a show like this? And not the one that was the victim of hate towards the Hong Kong protests. It would have been no different as a meme, but for some reason y'all felt it was more important and epic to give a 9 to some show that no one cared about until the drama. What you are essentially telling me is that you believe the lives and human rights of those in Hong Kong are insignificant to the right to awooga, humna, over bad, unfunny pseudo porn. Nice. Good standards you have there. Satire, once again, satire.
Pause. No, it's not satire. Fuck yourself. No, and what you're essentially saying, sweetheart, is that the lives and... I mean, by the same logic, the lives and suffering of people fighting for their right to just be a free society apparently is just a stepping stone for you to yell at somebody you have personal beef with. I mean, by the same token, by the same logic.
Since What the What loves using plugs, I figured that you guys should go ahead and subscribe to Critical Critique, or their show, Pause on Point, where they kind of do it like EFAP style, if you will, except this is more like WeebFap. So they talk about AniTuber videos, and they have a generally good time. They're very good guys, and I think you guys would enjoy it, and I show up there every so often, so look out for that. But on with the rest of this video, and I can add some more thoughts to this. What the what? Why use this? Why use Hong Kong as the catalyst to the rest of your argument? It's incredible to me that you think that people can't care about more than one thing at a time. And like I said, that's because people like you, AniTubers, or even the people that you associate with, don't have any real problems. So when a real problem does happen, oh well, it's fine, it's no big deal, we'll get over it, and then apparently we just move on from it. In the short while that I've been doing YouTube content, I can honestly never think of a moment besides the Hyrule Bard incident where he lied about having lupus to get 10,000 subscribers and money. But there's not been anything quite like this, where you use the suffering of the people in Hong Kong who want human rights for their own people, and you're using that to apparently just like, oh, well, that's a more important cause. Why are you guys looking at anime titties? Like, that's probably the worst, most selfish thing, and it's blatant too. And I mean, in all regards, that's probably the worst thing I've ever seen anybody ever say. Like, that's not even like pedantic romantic levels of bad, because, you know, that's just constant bad takes. That's not Mother's Basement, like, you guys shouldn't watch this show because of the Goblin Slayer, you know, that whole thing. No, none of those pale in comparison to what you just did. And I know that this is a little bit of a long rant, but people are not happy with you. Even people that are in the same sphere as you don't like what you said. But of course, your group of yes men will think that it's perfectly okay and that it's normal that you just, you know, bring up those things because they're related for some reason. People can care about those things. People did care about those things, and they still do. The Hong Kong protests still get brought up to this day. But you have become just, I don't know. You've not become a person anymore. You become a shill. And not necessarily for corporations, but for your own ego. But we'll get into that here at the end. Let's just keep going.
Once again, satire. Can't get in trouble if I'm just making it.
Yeah, it's quite possibly the worst joke you've ever had. I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words.
There is a point where I have to wonder what exactly people's priorities are, because this should be pretty cut and dry if anyone bothered to do any research. Funimation's business practices, as well as the anime licensing industry as a whole, is developing too fast for it to catch up. The simuldub format that many fans of the medium appreciate and subsequently get into the medium for is something that has only been done popularly by Funimation. And that format, as well as the rushed and by the seat of their own clown pants way the anime industry works, in general has created the situation. Funimation made a mistake, but some of y'all are pulling some hardcore mental gymnastics to call them hypocritical.
Well, that's because they are hypocritical. Why is it okay for shows like Saigon no Quasar to have their show on the Funimation website? Why is it okay for Bikini Warriors with the dog licking homegirl's vagina? Why is it okay for Valkyrie Drive to have the R word? I don't want to say it because, you know, Susan. But why is it okay for those shows to exist and get dubbed over, or at least a couple of them? But it's not okay for Ishizoku reviewers, where the show doesn't have, again, penetration that you've already brought up. People do think it's hypocritical, and they also think that Funimation is also just blatantly incompetent, because they are a company. They have millions of dollars, if not billions, already invested. They should know exactly what they're doing. Stop trying to defend corporation whenever something bad happens. That's why you privated the video, the one talking about Sonic, Pokemon, and the stupidity of fan outrage, because we're all entitled fucking baby rage man babies.
If you're going to argue that the raping Goblin Slayer is the same as Ishizoku reviewers, and that therefore Ishizoku reviewers isn't hentai, then that says more about your concerning arousal from rape porn, because obviously the intent from the Goblin Slayer scene was to disgust, horrify, and demonize the goblins. Ishizoku reviewers' intent is to make you laugh and jack off. If you were jacking off during the Goblin Slayer scene, and thus makes you equivalate the two, I honestly just don't want you anywhere near me, bro. Just stay over there. Stay over there with the other registered sex offenders.
Says the man that looks up Rule 34 and hentai of anything that's a Love Live character, especially Yohane. But you didn't hear that from me, though. I mean, it's not like it's in his likes on Twitter, which he has me blocked on. Oh, wait, I said that out loud. Whoopsie.
Funimation's standard is clearly that they don't want porn without penetration under their name. They have to make money. And if they deem that this will damage their brand by having it on there, then that's up to them. It's stupid and comical and funny in the right lens, but is it wrong of them to do so? No, not at all.
It is, because it's censorship, and you can never be pro-censorship and say that you're not a prude, especially in this context, because those shows, as I've already listed, Valkyrie Drive and Bikini Warriors and so on and so forth, those shows don't have penetration either. And neither does Ishizoku reviewers. So what's really the problem here is that people got an anime that you personally don't like up to the top of the My Anime List scoreboard, and you don't like it for that reason? Or is it because you don't like the 1 million subscriber AniTuber? I mean, you could tell us whichever one it is. I mean, the comments are open for you, buddy. I'll make sure that I pin it too, so that way you can go off on your rant, because I know you will. You or Vindy or maybe even Craftsdwarfs. We'll see who shows up first.
And I ain't even using their dumbass service. I don't watch dubs, and I know none of you are either. Are you really gonna tell me that you want to sit through 20 minutes of black screen with hentai audio? That more than anything is probably the reason why they took it down, because they also show these episodes on television. It probably is more of an issue of retaining the quality of the work while also having to censor it for TV standards, something that they are not alone in. They're not the only ones at fault. Why isn't anyone doing this to flex on Tokyo MX?
I didn't realize we lived in Japan. Or maybe we live in America, or I mean, there's probably some viewers that live in Japan. I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's because we don't live across the ocean, and even then, people still were very outraged that Tokyo MX pulled it. Like I said, just because you don't personally see it pop up on your timeline doesn't mean people aren't talking about it. That's how narrow-minded and closed off to the world you are.
Or any of the other platforms that took this show down, because none of you actually care. And that's what pisses me off. We have the opportunity to make our voices actually heard, and every single time, we choose to be a bunch of whiny clowns.
Standing up to a corporation or voicing your opinions doesn't make you a whiny baby. It is the opposite. It shows you that you have morals and you have integrity, and that you're not just going to eat the slop that any company just pushes out to you. If you don't like a product, do not buy it. And if you think that it's worth protesting over, then protest over it. That's why review bombing exists, is when, like, Warcraft 3 Reforged came out. No one liked what they did to it, so they protested it by review bombing it.
You people moral high ground about honesty and transparency, but can't be fucked to do actual research and figure out why things are happening the way they are. Some of you do even knowingly, which is probably the most manipulative and dishonest thing I've ever seen since underpaying my editors and not crediting artists.
Hey, do you guys remember when this video was about Ishizoku reviewers? Because I sure do. But if you're gonna try to, I don't know, if this is your version of a flex, it's a very weak one. You need to go and bench press some more, buddy. But even then, it doesn't matter what anybody does at the end of the day. Nuxtaku making this video was just a joke, and you took the bait. You took the joke seriously, and now everyone's laughing at you. All the smart people are laughing at you. Now, you say that people can't be fucked to do any research, but where's your research? All you've spouted is hearsay. You don't have anything that backs up any evidence of your claims. You don't even know that there's actually times when the Apple Store, when Google Play, when they remove apps, it's usually because of things like Tumblr, where they have very explicit content that is not safe for their app store, and they remove it. Like, everyone knows that part of it, but you didn't even bring that up. Maybe when Funimation, and this is my defense of Funimation a little bit, just a little bit, that they took out Ishizoku reviewers because of how borderline it was, and it was pushing the envelope, and they said we can't have that on our app store because Apple will take it down, and then we really won't have any money income. Like, did you think about that as being the case, or did you not do any research then?
If the anime community isn't taken seriously, if companies see us as nothing but whiny brats who just want our way, and if no one bothers to approach anything with proper research, especially those who hold influence and power, it's no one's fault but our own.
Dude, you have to stand up for things that you want to see changed. That's why the Sonic movie got changed, is because the people said this design is awful, I'm not spending my money to go see it. And the companies, guess what? They fixed it, and now they've made more money than what they were going to before. So yes, you should always voice your opinion if you don't like how something is looking and you're gonna spend your money on that product. Stop being the person that goes to, like, Burger King, and when you say no onions, they put onions on your burger and you just walk out like you don't want to start an argument.
So what I'm saying is, overall, I give Ishizoku reviewers a 9 out of 10. Just like the number of brain cells I lost while watching this go down. Fuck all of you. Watch Koisuga Asteroid instead.
No, I don't think I will do that. Instead, I'm going to have a good old discussion with you, personally. Because apparently you like to drag all of your friends into every tiny squabble that you get into. And that's not really how you should conduct yourself. At least that's how I wouldn't. And of course, you'll argue that people will do that anyways. They're going to bring their friends up or promote their friends. And when you do it, it's bad. But, you know, that's not really the case. People don't make a, quote, satire video and piss off everyone collectively. Your peers are calling you out for your bad video. And you even admitted it was bad when you privated the video anyways. So if you know that it's bad, just leave it up there. Who cares? You made one bad video. Everybody makes them. But you apparently have this weird high ground where you have to, you know, get rid of all the past works, the things that made you, I would say they made you famous. Like your drama videos, the thing that you claim to hate, while making this video a drama video about Nuxtaku, who hasn't done anything to you. In fact, I would say that he just made a meme and you fell for the bait. Everyone has detractors of some kind, what the what. You're not special because people don't like your views on something or because they think differently than you. You don't understand that because everybody has to think like you, otherwise they're just an idiot. And that's kind of like a DSP kind of, language barrier that you have going on, where people that give you advice or people that tell you something that they just may not be 100% in agreement with, you take it as them being stupid or idiots, and that's not the case at all. I would say in this video and even the other video that you privated about Sonic and Pokemon and the stupidity of fan outrage, you've insulted your viewers more than you've insulted the corporation, and I'm pro-consumer before I am pro-corporation. If a corporation is not doing their job or they're doing something very shady, then call them out for it. But unfortunately, you don't do that. You instead take the side of the corporation and you think that they shouldn't be ridiculed for anything, or we're ridiculing them for the wrong thing. Now, because you like to put so many plugs into your video, I'm gonna plug some of my own stuff. And it's not really about me, it's really about the other people. The people that aren't smart, or the people that can't care about two things at the same time, because, that just kind of escapes you. I don't get that about you. And in fact, I didn't want to make my last video, but this one I think will probably be a good intermittent one. This one will be the last one for a while until I can find something from that drama well that you say is dried up. And you've gave everybody hours of content. So in return, I'm going to give everybody else hours of content, from actual YouTubers that, don't insult their audience, or people that actually have fun doing the thing that they do and not trying to game the algorithm, as you put it. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Millennium Exile, who reached out to me with their project, and I really like the way that it's looking. Definitely not a Misty, Cronexia, and the 8 Seals kind of nonsense, but it's something that is a very near and dear project to my fellow Aussies. I see you guys out there. And if you guys want to go give it a look, it's millenniumexile.com. I figure since, what wants to promote his friends and other creators in the same sphere, that I would go ahead and do the same. So you can check them out, and they've been mentioned a lot, so give them a good look. And also, I want to give a shout out to my good friend Michael, who was nice enough to record a nice little hello to you guys.
Maybe guys, shout out to my boy NECRO. He's been fucking a part of this stream, honestly, for longer than 15 months. Always showing love. He was here. I believe NECRO was here from like day one of my stream too. Yeah. So shout out to everybody over at NECRO stream. I hope you guys are fucking having a good one tonight. Happy Friday. I hope you guys have your anime tits out, and I hope you guys are just chilling, having a fucking good time. God bless you. NECRO's the man, guys, and shout out to you, NECRO, dude. I hope the streams are going good. I hope YouTube's going good. Weird world over there. God bless you, YouTube people. Yeah.
And last but most certainly not least is the Patreon supporters. And you can see their names listed here, including Alex C and Hal9000, even Steve Man and Tank. And also a special thanks to a lot of people on that list, and most importantly to all of you. The 16.5k, and maybe it might dip a little bit lower and may go a little bit higher. But honestly, it's been a thrill to do this for as long as I've been doing it, and without any of you guys here, I'd probably, I don't know, be playing video games all day and yelling at people on Call of Duty. But now I get to make videos and live stream for all of you guys and play Call of Duty and get mad. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys to it. And I'm going to be doing some other stuff on Twitch. But make sure you check out those links. And I'll still be here, just in a very limited capacity.